She took the microphone, smiled at her friends, and said, "We're done," like it was a punchline, then glanced at me to see if I'd play along. That was the moment I understood my marriage had become a prop. I'm 35, a supply chain analyst living in Austin. My wife, Madison, and I had been married for 7 years. The party was at a downtown loft. White walls, glass everywhere, catered food I didn't recognize. Her friends were wealthy, loud in that polished way, the kind who talked about investments like weather. I stood near the window, holding a drink I didn't want, listening to Madison tell stories that edited me out of the frame. When she announced the breakup, the room reacted exactly how she'd hoped. Gasps, laughter, phones raised. Someone said, "Good for you." I looked at her, waiting for the wink, the reveal. It didn't come. She leaned into the bit. "I just outgrew him," she said casually. "Different ambitions." People nodded like they understood ambition better than loyalty. A guy in a tailored jacket clapped. Someone offered her a congratulatory hug. I felt my face heat, not with anger, but with the slow burn of being erased in public. I walked out onto the balcony to breathe. 10 minutes later, she followed, annoyed. "Why did you leave?" she asked. "You humiliated me," I said. She shrugged. "Relax. It was theater." "For who?" "For them," she said, like the answer was obvious. "They respect decisiveness." Only after that did the background click into place. We met in our 20s, before the promotions, before the curated circles. Lately, she'd been different, careful with appearances, impatient with ordinary things. She corrected my stories mid-sentence. She stopped introducing me as her husband and started saying my name, flat, like a credential she'd misplaced. Back inside, the party went on without me. I watched through the glass as she laughed with people who barely knew her, people who mistook cruelty for confidence. The betrayal wasn't a secret affair or a hidden account. It was the decision to trade my dignity for social currency, to perform a breakup while I stood there, expected to absorb it quietly. We confronted each other in the car. No yelling, just a cold, fluorescent silence broken by the hum of traffic. "You could have told me," I said, privately. She stared ahead. They'd never respect me if I showed weakness. "So I'm weakness." She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "You're safe." And safe isn't impressive. That line landed with surgical precision. Not loud, not dramatic, just clean. At home, she went to bed like the night had gone well. I sat on the couch and replayed years of small concessions, laughing off jokes at my expense, dressing down to fit her world, swallowing comments to keep the peace. I realized how often I'd mistaken patience for love. The turning point wasn't a grand decision. It was a quiet one. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped asking what I could do better. I stopped chasing a version of myself she could display. The next morning, I told her I wanted space. "For how long?" she asked. "As long as it takes for me to recognize myself again," I said. She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic." But I left anyway. I stayed with a friend for a week, then found a short-term rental. The days were awkward and empty at first. Then they became mine. I cooked meals without commentary. I slept without tension. I remembered that respect isn't something you earn by shrinking. Madison called once, frustrated. "People think we're actually over," she said. "We are," I replied. She accused me of ruining her image. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I just ended the call. The resolution didn't come with fireworks. We separated like adults who no longer shared the same values. Friends asked what happened. I told them the truth without venom. We wanted different things. I let her keep her story. Months later, I saw photos from another party. New crowd. New jokes. She looked confident. I felt nothing. Here's what I learned. Some betrayals happen under bright lights, disguised as humor, applauded by strangers. If someone is willing to sacrifice your dignity for approval, the relationship has already ended. You're just catching up. If you're listening and you've been asked to play a role that costs you your self-respect, step off the stage. The right people won't need you to perform your own erasure to feel important.